Rainier Avenue Radio .world.
Love food? Here's some storage tips to keep it fresh longer. Store cut fruits and vegetables in the fridge. Place in reusable containers. Keep bread in the freezer for longer storage. 40% of food in the U.S. goes uneaten. Save money, save food, save the planet. Visit Seattle Public Utilities for more tips.
Women are not an homogenous group.
We face discrimination differently depending on factors such as ethnicity, age, socioeconomic status, and more.
Rainier Avenue Radio is proud to amplify women's voices.
They are the experts of their own lives, initiating conversations within their community about challenges they face, the solutions they're working on, and the opportunities they see.
Please join us this Sunday from 2 to 5 for Women's Voices on Air. We know our challenges. We are the experts of our lives.
We are master multitaskers, prioritizing our family, friends, and our faith above our own needs.
Our needs and voices are too often overlooked.
Please join us this Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. for Women's Voices on Air.
We tell our stories in our own way.
Generational wealth. Generational wealth. Generational wealth. What is generational wealth? We asked our communities, and this is what they had to say.
Generational wealth is having financial security and not having to worry about it for yourself, your immediate family, and future generations. It's a very elusive idea to me personally, because it's not something in my immediate experience, and it's only something that I'm learning about a little bit more in theory and knowing or trying to know if that's like a real possibility for someone like me.
This campaign to create awareness to generational wealth is brought to you by the Department of Neighborhood's Generational Wealth Initiative, the Washington Housing Finance Commission, and Rainier Avenue Radio .world. Create your generational wealth for you and the future of your families.
Rainier Avenue Radio .world is your 24/7 digital media hub. Tune in at Rainier Avenue Radio .world. Also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and TuneIn apps.
Hey y'all, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Misunderstand, and I'm coming to you for my very first debut episode of Interrupting the Harm. I want to welcome all of you, tell you that I am a Seattle girl, a Seattle native, and I'm very, very excited to be giving you some information that I feel like is very important. Can we start off today, though, with a little bit of meditation? You know, it's always good to start your day with a little bit a word of inspiration. And so I just want to share this with y'all. This is coming from Acts of Faith, Miss Iyanla Van Zant, which I'm sure that some of you are familiar with. Today, October 6th, there are 4 rungs on the ladder of success. Plan purposefully, prepare prayerfully, proceed positively, pursue persistently. And that is from African American folklore. In everything you do, have a purpose. Make sure the quality of your intent is one of truth, honor, and love. Prepare to pursue your purpose with prayer. Ask for guidance, protection, and direction. Ask that closed doors be opened and that the purpose of those that remain closed be revealed. Give thanks for your answered prayers by proceeding without any doubt. Keep your purpose in mind, trust the guidance you receive, have faith in your ability to succeed, and accept all that comes your way. If your purpose is clear, your prayers backed by faith, your outlook sure and positive, never look back. You may meet forks and turns in the road, but your obstacles shall all be removed. I'm planning with purpose, preparing with prayer, proceeding positively in persistent pursuit of my goal. Boy, that's a little bit of a tongue twister, isn't it? A lot of P's in there. but I love it because purpose is a big part of what keeps me motivated. So today I just want to introduce myself to you guys. My name is Misunderstood, and I am your guide on this journey for the next half hour. So let's see what the path has in store for us today. I'm first going to share with you a little bit about myself and my motives for doing this show, my purpose on Rainier Avenue Radio. And then I'll share a little bit about some of the events in the news that concern and inspire me, and hopefully inspire you as well. And then we'll talk a little bit about some events and some positive things that are happening this weekend. It's supposed to be sunny, so that helps a little bit too. And the other thing I just really want to get across in my purpose for you guys is the fact that we as adults can take responsibility and take action towards positive change. So I want you to leave this show like Joe Madison says, what are you going to do about it? What can you do about it? And take some action to make a positive change. So some of the topics I hope to cover are education, public safety, crime, mental health, substance use, struggles that we have in the community where we see people suffering, and also race, inclusion, and diversity always intersect with those very same topics. I want to tell you that my heritage is that I am a Black woman. I self-identify as a Black woman, but I am a multiracial, biracial woman. I'm a Seattle native, and I guess I would say I'm African American and Swedish American. That's my mother's heritage is Swedish, but some other stuff is in there too. So I don't know if y'all have done your ancestry or your what's the other one? There's another one out there, but anyway, it's kind of a shocker when you get it back because there may be some things you didn't think you had in the mix. Anyway, as a Seattle girl, I want to share with you that I have attended Seattle public schools, and I feel like I got a very good education. I was a result of the busing situation that happened in the 60s. And for me, it was really good because I got to be in a lot of schools that had wonderful music programs and art programs, even though it was a little bit of a bus ride to get to school. That part was a little bit of a drag. But anyway, I digress. So I still really think it's important to be heard and for our people to be heard, Black and brown people, and to show hospitality to everyone. And my ultimate purpose is anti-violence. I really, really don't like to see people suffering under violence, whether that's violent actions, violent words, or violent systems that are taking a toll on folks. So I just want to welcome you guys all to listen in and to spend this time with me as we kind of extricate some things that are going on in society. I do believe that there's much value in the diversity, and we are very fortunate in Seattle that we have such a diverse community, so many languages spoken. Me, myself, I live in the Rainier Valley area, and I have found that there's no shortage of culture. There's culture everywhere you look, from different types of foods, different types of dress, different types of language, and also different ways of doing things. And I feel like in diversity, that's what we can do is benefit from learning other ways of doing things. Perhaps someone else is doing something that might be more efficient, and we can learn from that. So I hope to bring that to this show as well. So my background a little bit is I am a person who's a survivor of domestic violence. And I don't know if you guys realize, but this month, October, is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And I have been busy at work with one of my number one friends, Tana Yasu. Now, Tana is, she's a go-getter. She's the former president of the chairwoman of the Seattle Women's Commission. And she also has a foundation called the Joe Brazil Foundation. Now, interesting tidbit, Joe Brazil was a good friend of my father. And so as I was able to grow up in the Seattle area, I noticed that Joe Brazil was a prolific artist and musician. And so I actually was fortunate enough to even have him as a teacher when I was doing my music programs. You know, I was in orchestra, band, choir, jazz band, dance, and Joe Brazil was one of my instructors. So I'm really honored to be able to say that I had one of the elders in my repertoire of teachers. So that was phenomenal. But anyway, so Miss Yasu has started the Joe Brazil Foundation, and you'll often see her doing events. She did a beautiful Juneteenth event where she premiered the Black Panther Party, the Seattle chapter of the Black Panther Party, their legacy film. They have a documentary that's just been completed. And so she premiered that, as well as another film about the Buffalo Soldiers and a specific story of one young man in the Buffalo Soldiers. And actually, there was a woman in there too that had disguised herself as a man. Never had heard of her before. Anyway, Tana is always at the forefront of something fantastic. So when you see a Joe Brazil legacy event, you want to check it out. It's going to be informational, educational, and powerful. So in that vein, Tana and I have been working for the last 5 years to put together Black women-led events regarding domestic violence. And we are on our 5th year this year, and I'm hoping Daniel can pull up my flyer. So we have an event coming up October 28th, and it's going to be in Pioneer Square area, which on a Sunday, it shouldn't be too bad to park down there, y'all. So I hope you will come out and support us. So it's October 28th, and it's going to start around 1 o'clock. We're going to have refreshments. We're going to have wonderful speakers. And we're also going to try and have a career fair the day before. Yes, there's the flyer. So this is at the Studio 2+U. And it's down in the Pioneer Square area. The 28th is going to be the career opportunity fair. And so we're going to have tabling and all kinds of ways that if someone is exiting domestic violence, that they can have some career options and ways to increase their income, especially if they're leaving a partner. They're going to need a little extra income or maybe a new direction or a new career path. So we're going to have that with the partnership of Mr. Claude Burfect has agreed to be there and support us by bringing out some of our union partners. And we're just really excited to have that career fair. And then on Sunday, the 29th, we'll have our Women's Advisory Board from King County. They are our primary sponsor this year. And we will also have a panel and several different speakers for that. So I just really encourage you guys to keep this on the radar. You got a whole month to plan, but it is important that we remember domestic violence awareness as part of our month. Now, I saw the previous speaker, and she was talking about an event that I'm going to tomorrow. So tomorrow, the Health and Wellness Fair. Now, this is a partnership between FAME, First AME, and Mount Zion. And they're doing this wonderful health and wellness fair. I was asked to attend and be one of the speakers. And what we're going to share is really health information, wellness information, and of course, we're going to show Black and Brown providers, because sometimes, I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but when you get a new job or something and you're trying to look through that benefits package and figure out, well, what doctor can I go to? I really would like a doctor who look like me, a person of color. And so this fair is going to have 6 or 7 Black doctors, a couple Black dentists, and also some other community activists that work on healthcare issues such as violence. So I really encourage you to come out. I also see my girl Tony up there towards the top in the orange. There she goes. Tony is our Zumba professional. And I have participated in many of her wellness classes. She does Zumba down at Rainier Beach. And she also has just been prolific in the HydroFit. I don't know if you guys ever tried HydroFit, but if the Zumba is a little bit too fast for you, you might try HydroFit. It's underwater, it's low impact, and there's usually a very full class down there at Rainier Beach. And I've enjoyed my time going to it. So, we just want to encourage people to be healthy and well and to interrupt those things that are harming you or harming our community. As you know, we also have a proclivity towards heart disease, diabetes. Some mental health issues are prolific in the Black community, and high blood pressure is prolific. So we really just want to encourage folks to live their best life, but also to jump into some changes. Sometimes we can get stuck And I don't know if you guys have ever heard of there's a model called the stages of change. And so when you're in those stages of change, it's normal to have places where, like I was reading in the beginning on the meditation, there's parts in the road that are not going to be straight, right? Our journey is not a straight line. It's generally ups and downs, curves, things happen in life that are challenging. But what we do want to do is make sure we stay on the path. So I just want to encourage everybody out there, like myself, if there's something health-wise that you need to be addressing, I encourage you to take it on and to get some support to face it. So now I'm wondering, should we also do a little station break here, Daniel? All right, we are on Rainier Avenue Radio, and we want to encourage you. You can also donate on Venmo to support this effort and to keep our radio community grown and spicy. Many of us on here do have a little spice. We got a little bit of experiences, and we've been around a little bit. So we got a little seasoning to the way that we talk. But I just want to encourage you guys to tune in on a regular basis. I was listening to the young man this morning. He was doing all the exercises and stuff. That was really good. Yes. And I was trying to listen in a little bit before this to my other hosts. And I do support all the hosts on Rainier Avenue Radio. The other thing, Daniel, I don't know if you had went to the public safety forum that Rainier Avenue Radio put on last week. I was fortunate enough to come out to that, and I really enjoyed myself. We had a great panel on the stage. Tanya Wu came out, and several other activists and electeds. And then former public safety SPD personnel. John Hayes was there, which I've done some things with John Hayes. And so it was really good to hear from him and just hear the variety of experiences that people were talking about. And there are some concerning things. A couple people talked about having their house broke into. Yes. And I did have a little piece on there where I said a couple words, but the thing is we just have to keep the conversation going. We have to keep the lines of communication open. Sometimes we get so polarized. That's another P word. Sometimes we get so polarized about, it has to look this way and it has to be my way. And we need to sometimes try and negotiate a little bit. One other person I'll mention this week, we lost Senator Dianne Feinstein. And I know she's had a couple little controversial moments over the year, but we all have, right? I mean, we're all human. But she was one who tried to really work across the aisle and be a non-polarizing person. She was a great advocate for LGBTQIA2S rights. And worked, early on in her career with Harvey Milk. I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie Milk, but it really details a lot more about her history and her career. But in the meantime and in between time, we have a wonderful new young lady stepping up to take her position. And I'm going to encourage you guys to go research that. The one thing I wanted to speak about regarding public safety that really was off-putting to me this week. Wait, let me take my bag off for this. This is, I don't know. Wait, okay. I'm all right. I'm all right. It was upsetting. So I was watching TV last night, and I don't know if you've heard about Uganda. Uganda has passed a law where it is illegal to be an LGBTQ person and be out and proud. There's a lot of shelters and things that are taking in young people who identify as LGBTQ, but they're really actually targeting and killing gay people in Uganda. And that was probably the most upsetting thing I saw this week globally. It was really hard to watch, but I couldn't turn away because I feel like I need to know the information and do what I can to help them in their struggle. So that's something I would encourage you to put on the forefront of your research list because it's a very important issue and people's lives are at stake. It's really, really, really scary. The other thing that's a local issue that was on my radar this week, again, that was hard to look, but we can't turn away. I saw the issue where the young, well, I don't know if it was a young person. It was actually two elders. One was a Hispanic woman and one was a man in a wheelchair. Anyway, this lady was up at the light rail station up on Beacon Hill, and somebody hit her in the head with a hammer. And I saw where there was a young man who helped her when he said he came to the elevator and the doors opened and she was standing there bleeding from her head and she had been attacked with a hammer. And so I know that the light rail people have beefed up security a little bit. I don't know where security was at that moment, but you know how that goes, right? When you need a police, they're not there sometimes. So they were able to get her assistance and the response was quick. So I do want to, I know our first responders work hard to do their jobs, but this was a Hispanic woman elder. She definitely didn't deserve that. And it looked like someone was in a mental health crisis that had a hammer and was wielding that hammer and walking around the station. And then last night they showed more footage. And the other person who was affected, which it was a man in a wheelchair. And he, I guess, tried to intervene and stop the assault on this woman. He was in a wheelchair. He was a veteran. And he said he was coming from his chemotherapy appointment. And then he also got hit in the head. And he was saying if it had been 1 inch or 1 millimeter further to the left, it would have punctured his skull. So we're really thankful that both of them are recovering. And I want to send out my deepest prayers and love and light to their families. That's completely traumatic. And I hope that also the young man who they were capturing on film gets some kind of assistance as well and gets into some kind of therapeutic response, because it seemed like he was definitely in crisis. But I just want you guys all to really, hug your loved ones. Reach out, keep in touch with those. We just went through this horrible pandemic, and that was an emotional toll on everyone. And I feel like people are lonely. People are still really, really upset, traumatized, and hurt. And then we lost a lot of elders. We lost a lot of people during the pandemic. I don't think we're talking about that enough, Daniel. But we did. We lost a lot of people. And so people are still kind of grieving and mourning, I think, as well. Anyway, I'm just so glad you guys are on Rainier Avenue Radio. I got to give one more shout out to Rainier Avenue Radio and just having the opportunity to come on here and chit chat a little bit. So we talked about domestic violence awareness. We talked about the event this weekend for wellness and health that we want to encourage y'all to come out to. And that's at the Seward Park. I think it's Seward Park, Lakeside Seward Park Community Club. Yes. So again, talking about mental health issues, talking about other ways that people can engage. And then I also want to tell you about, there's a fantastic group that you can take action with called DDI, Democrats for Diversity and Inclusion. And I would welcome you to join me over there. We're trying to do some things at DDI. I've been a member for several years. We worked real hard on I-1000 and trying to bring back affirmative action. The governor did finally sign off on that, but we're in some really difficult times, y'all. So we have to make sure we're paying attention, make sure we're being diligent, and make sure that we're challenging those things that are unfair and not good for our Black community. I know that I still am amazed at the wage gap. I was just looking at some statistics yesterday, and they said that January 1st, the wages will increase. So the minimum wage will go up to, it was $19.06, and it will go up to $19.71 in SeaTac. Tukwila is currently at $18.99. Seattle is currently at $18.69 an hour. And then statewide, our minimum wage is one of the highest at $16.28. And they give Kashama Sawant a lot of hard time, but she was the one who got that ball rolling. I got to give that sister a shout out for that. because the reality is that women still only make 72 cents on the dollar for what men make. And I actually had looked up the other ways that it's broken down by race, because not only do women not make as much, many of our other races don't make as much. And so I looked this up. I believe this was the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And it says, today, Black women in the United States are typically paid just 64 cents for every dollar paid to white, non-Hispanic men. Even when looking just at people working full-time year-round, Black women are still only paid 67 cents for every dollar. But that figure does not count more than 3.5 million Black women. The wages of Black women are driven down by a number of current factors, including gender and racial discrimination, workplace harassment, job segregation, and lack of workplace policies that support family caregiving. Because a lot of times we got to get childcare for our kids, and then that's a huge chunk of your income. It's like rent and childcare are the two biggest ones. And I know that Hispanic and I believe Hispanic women are just a little bit higher. Maybe they're 72 cents. And then Native American women also, and Asian heritage women. So these are things that are just still currently happening in our world, you guys, and we got to stay abreast of it and pay attention to it. And then I want to leave you guys on a positive light note. How much time do I got left, Daniel? 2 minutes. Okay. I do want to leave you with a little positivity, something that caught my attention this week and it hooked me. The Golden Bachelor. Okay, y'all, I know this is an older white man and he is doing his thing, but such a nice person and such a beautiful show to see all the variety of women. And yes, there was 2 sisters on there, 2 or 3. I think it might've been 3. One sister still on there. Okay, he sent a few of them home, but it was just a pleasant surprise. I've never watched The Bachelor, but it was wonderful to just see people getting a second chance at love and really feeling like even if they didn't make it with him, they were willing to try again. So I encourage you guys to check that out. It was just very hopeful and beautiful. And then there's a new book that I'm really, really excited to get. World Record of Racist Stories. This is a book that Amber Ruffin, she's a comedian, and she's on the oh, I forget his name now. All of a sudden it escapes me, but I watch his show pretty regular. And she usually does the Black Woman Sketch Show, not the one that Robin Thede does, but she has her own show. And this book, her and her sister Lacey Lamar put together, and I just love the fact that these 2 sisters, they had some traumatic things happen to them. Some of them was funny, and some of them wasn't so funny, but they put their stories together in a book, and it just really looks like a wonderful read. So I am going to be looking at that. I had a clip, but now we're running out of time. So I just want to encourage you guys, get out there. Jamie Foxx also has a new movie coming out, and there's lots of good things to enjoy. So look for the light, and I really encourage each of you to, again, check on your family. Say hello to your neighbor, get to know who lives around you, and let's just make this a better world and a better space. Take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful sunny weekend and enjoy.